Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we are going to be servicing the rear differential in my 2007 F-150. This is just a basic 2007 F-150, the flatbed I built myself, but that has really nothing to do with the rear differential. But if you're wondering why mine doesn't look like yours, that is a homemade flatbed. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump in and get going on it. So here is what I have to kind of do this task. I got some gear oil here to put back in the rear diff. You can see what I got. I got some Valvoline 75 weight 140 gear oil, and that's what I'm going to use to replace it. And then I have this rear differential gasket, which I will use to replace the one that is on the truck. Okay, so here we are underneath the truck. This rear differential does not have a drain plug, so the only way to service it is to actually remove this back inspection cover. So it's held on by these bolts that go around the perimeter here. It's a 13 millimeter is the size. So let's go ahead and remove these bolts. Okay. We're going to leave the top 5 on but loose to see if maybe we can just kind of peel back this cover a little bit and direct most of the gear oil back into my pan. Okay, so the oil that's coming back is looks super good, huh? Very clear, not black at all. Still feels clean. It doesn't stink real bad like a lot of gear oil, rear diff oil. When it goes bad, it stinks real bad. This doesn't look bad at all. So while we're sitting here letting this drain, a little background on this truck. Like I said, this is a 2007 F-150. This is the first time the rear diff has ever been serviced. It is incredibly low mileage for the year. So I'm gonna go ahead and so it has, what was it, 79,164 miles on it, and today's date is May 24th, 2022. Leave that information in there because I can go back and reference this video for my exact date and mileage on when I last serviced this rear differential. I'll also clean up a place on the rear cap here and try and write it on with a paint pen so I remember it that way too. But anyways, like I was saying, it's got less than 80,000 miles on it. Incredibly low mileage truck for a 2007. It's been a good truck to me. I fully anticipate getting another 5 to 10 years out of this truck. So we're trying to give it some long overdue maintenance. Even though I wasn't really just a whole lot of miles on this rear diff, I was thinking this fluid's from 2007. It's probably worth a quick change. While that's draining, we'll go ahead and start pulling the rest of these bolts. Just feel around here, make sure I didn't forget any. So, couple things I noticed taking it apart. It does look like from factory there is no gasket in it. Looks like they just used silicone. And then the other thing, which you would make sense, but that all those threads definitely had a little bit of thread lock on them. It wasn't blue Loctite, but it wasn't super hard to pull either. So I'm going to replace it with blue Loctite as opposed to red when I reinstall this cover. Feel down in here for any chunks of metal. The ring gear looks good. I don't feel anything down on the bottom of the diff. Gears look good. I wasn't expecting there to be anything wrong with it, but might as well take a look at it while you're here. To my relatively untrained eye, Everything does appear to be in perfectly good working order. Teeth don't feel worn. Still got machining marks on the faces of them. While I am still down here, we'll get a razor blade and we will clean up that gasket face. Just put my back of my head in that inspection cover, so I got a bunch of gear oil in my hair. Such is life. How about some 220 grit, some carb cleaner? That ought to work okay, huh? Okay. Looks good. All right, let's go ahead and clean this bad chicken up just a little bit. All right, that cleaned up pretty decent. We'll go ahead and turn it over and clean up the gasket face on the other side. Seeing as I already got it out, let's take her for a spin on the wire brush. Just like the last one, we'll go ahead and get a little carb cleaner and some sandpaper. We'll clean it the rest of the way up. Okay, that looks like it will work. So I do know, I don't know why. All I know is that it angers the car gods if for whatever reason you have your rear differential cover off and you don't paint it an obnoxious color. So I don't make the rules, I just play by them. So we'll have to see what I have on the spray paint shelf to give this the old rattle can rebuild. And that way you can tell people at the grocery store that you swapped in a limited slip differential into your 2007 F-150 with the little 4.3 V6, and they look at you and go, who is this weirdo? Anyways, let's see what colors I got. Okay, we are gonna go with Farm Implement Red because heck yeah. Okay, that's about the end of that can, so I have just enough left to do that. Okay, the paint's been sitting here baking in my blast oven so that it is, looks like just tacky enough to leave handprints in it, which is perfect, exactly what you want. While I was waiting, I did go ahead and wire wheel off the threads on the bolts, so they are cleaned up from all the old silicone off of them. So let's go ahead and slap this back together. So there's a pretty robust debate around whether you use a gasket, whether you use RTV, whether you use a gasket with a little bit of RTV on both sides, blah, 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 blah. There's a million ways to skin a cat. You do you. I'm really not that picky about it. But I'm going to tell you that I don't like using RTV unless I have to. So if something doesn't leak without RTV, I'm not going to use RTV. So we are going to try and replace this with just a gasket. So we'll go ahead and slide the gasket onto our cover here, and we'll get a couple bolts slid through that top one there. Let's see if we can go ahead and get that bolt started. Okay, we're not going to tighten that one down because we need to be Loctiting these. That's just to kind of hold it in place while we get some more going. Speaking of which, I forgot my Loctite. Okay, kind of like I said before, I'm going with blue because I'm doing it so it's almost guaranteed to leak. So I'm going to have to take it apart again, and I don't want to have to fight the red. So we're going to go with blue. today, believe it or not, I broke out the torque wrench. It's very unlike me. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm just showing off for YouTube. But we're supposed to torque these to 33 foot-pounds. I have it set to 30. They're pretty small bolts, and I feel like I always torque just a hair over the click anyways, so I set it to click at 30. The specs off my book say to go to 33. We're just gonna snug them all up first. Okay, made a full lap. So that's it, we're done. Just kidding, we know we gotta put the fluid back in it. Think that's something that's ever been forgotten before? Yeah, you know it is. Okay, so here we are at the front of the differential, and up kind of by the drive shaft on the driver's side is the fill plug. You pull it with just a 3/8 drive is all. So I just got a 3/8 extension on here, and there isn't a good place for me to put the camera down. So let me see. Okay, sorry about that. Got it loose. So pull it out. It obviously has some thread locker on it too. Oh, it had red on it. We'll put it back in with some blue. Went and cleaned up my fitting on a wire wheel for just a little bit and cleaned off the magnet. There wasn't a whole lot on the bottom of it, so I just went and wiped it off. Now let's get a rag and wipe this down so that we can see when it's full. I don't know how much it takes, but I got 3 quarts, so hopefully that's enough, but my luck, it probably takes 3.5. Well, there's 2. It's not full yet. Oh. Yep, looks like it is full. So it takes almost 3 quarts. Let's see. I don't know. Way less than a quarter of it left. So it is almost 3 whole quarts. In order to fill that up, let's get all this excess wiped away. Go ahead and get some blue on our drain plug, or our fill plug, excuse me. Okay, I think that'll do it. Okay, so here we go. So I can make this legible. 5. Oh, the paint's not dry. Oh, ugly. 5/24/22. Good enough. Perfect. So now everyone can know without a shadow of a doubt that you are a backyard hack mechanic. Most important part here. Let me darken that slash. Yeah. That was making it look that was making it look sloppy, but now it's perfect. All right, so that is how you change the rear differential fluid in a 2007 F-150. It should be the same for a 2004 through 2008 F-150. If you liked the video, please go ahead and comment below any advice that you may have in order to empty out my shop so that someday I'll be able to park the entire truck inside instead of just either the front half or the back half while I'm working on it. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned. We'll catch you on the next one.